Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. Was radditz introduced as a cheap shock to the series? Now, some of you are probably thinking, Freaky, what the heck are you talking about? Okay, before anybody says anything, just hear me out. Now listen, I know Radditz has fans, I'm a fan of Radditz, and other YouTubers like Mosako also likes Radditz. But sadly, Radditz has only ever been in the series for about 4 episodes, and that's it. And just to let you guys know, a long time ago, I did make a video about the chances of Radditz coming back, and Goku's resentment towards the Saiyans. And it's basically about me talking about the chances of Radditz coming back. And you know what? It was an absolute shame that Radditz didn't come back. I mean, come on, you're the main character's older brother, and you're going in 4 episodes? I mean, come on. And I go into more details in that video, talking about the subject. But in today's topic, I want to talk about was Radditz's appearance in the series just a way to give us a cheap shock on what Goku's heritage was. And I know for a fact there's going to be some people out there who doesn't like this idea of me saying that, oh, Radditz was just a cheap shock. Again, I love Radditz, you know that. But let's just really think about this. Now, when it comes to the Dragon Ball series, we all started with Dragon Ball Z in the West, right? And when it came to the Japanese audience, they all started with Dragon Ball, then it was Dragon Ball Z. And when it came to the Japanese audience, I bet it was an absolute shock to them when they find out that Goku is an alien. And you know what? I think we actually missed out on that, because it was the Japanese audience that started with Goku's journey from when he was a kid to when he got married to Chi-Chi. And it was the Japanese audience that knew that Goku can go Ozaru, they knew who Piccolo was, they knew about the Red Ruin Army, they knew about Krillin's death and Chaozu's death, their training with Master Roshi, Korin and Kami. They saw some of the best fights within the series. In Dragon Ball, the Japanese audience knew Goku in and out, and that was something that the Japanese audience had that the Western audience didn't have. They knew Goku. But when it came to Z, I think we actually knew more about Gohan than we did Goku when Dragon Ball Z started coming out in the West. I mean, think about it. People in Japan knew Goku, but in Z, we went on adventures with Gohan. His fight with the Saiyans, the Ginyus, Frieza, Cell, Majin Buu, and so on and so on. So instead of it being a generational thing, because you had Goku for the older generation and for the newer generation it was Gohan, I mean, yeah, that did happen in Japan. But I find it funny that it was the older generation in Japan for Goku and the younger generation for Gohan. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. And when it came to Z, we are told all these things about Goku in his past. There was Dr. Gero and the Red Ribbon Army. There was the old thing with Piccolo. There was Yajirobe. There was Master Roshi talking about Goku's past. We're always given hints and flashbacks and so on, telling us what happened in Goku's past. And we wouldn't know until we got through all the way to Z, through GT, and then Dragon Ball would be the final series of the Dragon Ball franchise at the time. And when I first saw it, I thought, yeah, this is a little bit weird. I mean, Dragon Ball Z was cool. Yeah, sure, it had its weird moments. But Dragon Ball was just weird and comedy. I mean, come on. It was so weird that you had to watch it all by yourself, without your parents or siblings looking at you funny. But hey, years later, I watched the entire series of the Dragon Ball franchise when it came out on DVD. And you know what? Despite its weirdness, it was a good series. A brilliant series. And you know what? I was really glad that I got to see the original series of Dragon Ball. But again, Dragon Ball Z took something away from us that the Japanese fandom had, and that was its shock of what Goku is and what he was supposed to do. Because when it came to Goku, we didn't really know what his past was all about. And I'm talking about in the original Dragon Ball series. Like, all we know that he lived in the woods with his grandpa, and he was just this strange boy with a tail that can grow into the great ape, and he had these strange abilities, and he was really powerful, and that was all a mystery to us. And when I mean us, I'm talking about the Japanese audience, because again, they started with Dragon Ball, and we in the West started with Z. And you know what? I bet the fans in Japan who was watching the original Dragon Ball was thinking, so we're coming up to near the end of the series, and we're never going to find out who exactly Goku is. And to be fair, I'm not really 100% sure what Japanese fans was doing back in the day. Like, was they reading the manga then watch the anime? Or did they come across the series while watching TV? Or was their fans watching the series before reading the manga? Again, who knows? And then, after when the original Dragon Ball ended, and then the Japanese fans started watching Z, they did have 1 or 2 surprises before Radditz. Number 1, somebody from space came to Earth and was looking for someone called Kakarot. 2, when Piccolo faced off against Radditz the first time they met, Piccolo blasted Radditz, and that blast did absolutely nothing to Radditz. And this was Piccolo, the second most powerful being on Earth, second to Goku. And remember, imagine the looks on the Japanese who first watched this. These are the same people who saw the original Dragon Ball, and they saw how powerful Piccolo was in the OG series when he was faced off against Goku, and they saw the damage that Piccolo inflicted onto Goku in the OG series. So imagine their shock when Piccolo's blast did nothing to Raditz. And number 3, Gohan. This was Goku's kid. I mean, imagine Goku having a kid, and not just that, he also has a tail, and that was also something I'm sure the fans of Dragon Ball Z in Japan was thinking, does Goku know? Does Goku know? Does he know that with a tail, he can grow into the giant ape? And even Goku's friends, Bulma, Master Roshi and Krillin, was even asking Goku a few questions about Gohan and the tail, like did he see the full moon and all that stuff. And we could clearly see that Gohan was nothing like his dad when Goku was a kid. And when I mean we, I'm talking about the Japanese audience. Gohan is a stark contrast to what Goku was. He's just a scared, meek little boy compared to what Goku was. And we're told by Master Roshi how he thought Goku would just settle down and not worry about fighting anymore, but it turns out that he hasn't. Now, some of you are probably going to say, okay, Freaky, we get that, we know all that, but just get straight to the point with Radditz. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do next. We're going to talk about Radditz. And when it came to Radditz actually meeting Goku for the first time, there was loads to unpack. Radditz having a tail, and Radditz calling Goku Kakarot, and Radditz saying that he's his brother, and he took out Krillin like it was nothing, only with his tail. And the other big shocker was that he told Goku who he is, what he is, aka a Saiyan, and he tells him about the origins of the Saiyan race and how they came from the planet Vegeta, and now nearly all of them are extinct, and they're planet conquestors, and so on and so on. And Radditz came to Earth to come and get Kakarot, so he could help him conquer more planets. And Goku learned the truth from Master Roshi, saying that Grandpa Gohan wasn't his biological grandpa, and he says, oh, you were a world child, and then he hit his head, and he became a loving boy. And this shook Goku to his core. I think the Japanese audience might have got the idea that maybe Goku wasn't related to Gohan, you know, Grandpa Gohan. I'm sorry, it's been a very long time. And that was also another thing that shocked the Japanese audience, that Goku wasn't related to Grandpa Gohan. And when Goku refused to join Radditz, Radditz took down Goku and kidnapped Gohan. And Radditz says, if you want to see your little boy again, bring me the bodies of this many Earthlings. And this must have been a shock to the Japanese audience too, that not only was Piccolo outmatched by Radditz, but Goku too, the most powerful person on the planet Earth. And this was the main character, this was Goku, and he was taken out with one hit, and he was writhing in pain, and Radditz took Gohan away. Now, at this point, we find out so many things within 4 episodes, well, 2, 3 maybe, from the first episode to all the way when Radditz took away Gohan. And there was loads to unpack when it came to the first few episodes, and the shock on the Japanese fans must have been like, what? It was just one surprise after another, after another, after another. A space alien coming to Earth, Gohan with a tail, meeting Piccolo, and Piccolo not doing anything to Radditz, and then one thing leads to another, and Goku meets Radditz. And Radditz tells Goku everything about himself, and who he is, and what he is. But the biggest surprise is that Goku had a brother. And that's what I want to bring up. I mean, come on, you're the main character's older brother. You're in the series for at least 4 episodes, and you're gone like that. And Radditz was never revived, and over the years, there has been characters who has done worse than Radditz. There was Vegeta, there was Fat Boo, there was Beerus. I mean, yeah, it's his job, but hey, I'm still counting it. And of course, Frieza. And this is what really gets my goat. Vegeta, Fat Boo, and Frieza have done a lot worse than what Radditz has ever done. In fact, look at Vegeta's defeat when he was on Earth. 2, when he died on Namek. He made it clear to Goku that he would come back and kill him and destroy the Earth. Vegeta has killed loads of the Namekians and was planning on betraying and killing Gohan, Krillin, and Goku on planet Namek. And he didn't care what happened to him. But in the end, Vegeta changed his ways. Both Radditz, Vegeta and Nappa all had the same instincts, the same upbringings, the same beliefs, the same attitude. They were all basically the same. But Vegeta just proves that science can change. And if that is the case, then Nappa could have changed and Radditz could have changed. I mean, come on, look at freaking Frieza. Frieza is like the Batman to Goku. Like, he's the dark side of the Dragon Ball franchise. But he's ready and willing to make alliances with Goku if a much more bigger threat comes along. I mean, come on, freaking Frieza, who has done a million times worse than Radditz. In fact, it was Frieza who killed the Saiyans, and he's allowed to roam around, and he's still conquering planets. And Goku doesn't even care that Radditz is dead, but he allowed Vegeta and Frieza and Fat Boo to roam around. But hey, screw Radditz, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm going off track. Anyways, I don't see any reason as to why Radditz should have been Goku's brother, if he's just going to be in the series just for 4 episodes. Because when it comes to the Western audience, I'm pretty sure that the Western audience would have loved to have seen Goku and Radditz get along, and Goku wanted to know more about Radditz and so on, considering that they're brothers. But nope, that never happens. And when it comes to the Japanese audience, they don't actually care that Goku has a brother and Radditz died. But when it came to the Western audience, I think we might have found it much more interesting than what our Japanese counterparts did when it comes to Goku having a brother. But I think most of all, after watching the series, after when we saw Vegeta and Fat Boo and Frieza, and seeing how Vegeta changed, I think most of us was probably thinking, hey, if Vegeta can change, then why not Nappa or Radditz? But hey, I've already talked about something like this in my other video, so if you guys want to go and check that out, please do. But I think the main reason as to why Akira Toriyama made Radditz Goku's brother is so it would be more of a shock. I mean, just think about it for a sec. Let's just say, for example, that Radditz was just some random Saiyan that had absolutely no relation to Goku, and Radditz only remembered Goku because of something else, like maybe ever since Planet Vegeta blew up, he knew only a few more other Saiyans survived, and that was the only reason Radditz knew about Kakarot. It was because he just remembered that, oh yeah, there's another Saiyan out there somewhere. I think the only reason Akira Toriyama made Radditz Goku's brother is so it'd be much more impactful. I mean, yeah, sure, if we watched the original series and then watched Z, and then we met Radditz, and Radditz told Goku who he is, and what he came to Earth to do. But they weren't brothers. Yeah, I'm saying that for an example, so let's just pretend that Radditz wasn't Goku's brother, and Radditz did everything else and told Kakarot everything except he wasn't his brother, and then Radditz died 4 episodes in. I don't think anybody would have actually cared that this random Saiyan who wasn't related to Goku died. I mean, everything else would have been a shocker, but just adding, oh, I am your big brother, Radditz, was just there to add more shock factor. I mean, why say that? Or should I say, why make Radditz say that if he's going to be in the series just for 4 episodes? But hey, life isn't going to be perfect, so what can you do? I mean, come on, you guys wouldn't be even more shocked if he wasn't Goku's brother and he was just some random Saiyan. But when Radditz says, oh, I am your big brother, it was an even bigger shock to the Japanese audience. But when it came to the Western audience, we didn't know what the heck was going on because we didn't see the original Dragon Ball. It was more like, what? Wait, what? What's going on? What? Because again, we didn't know what the hell was going on. All this was new to us. I think we in the West was more confused than anything, and I think that's what watching Z first took away from us, that surprise factor, and not knowing Goku in the OG series first. Because if I did watch the OG series first, and then watch Z, it would have been a massive shock to the system after what happened in those first 4 episodes. And he's the main character's freaking brother, and he's a ruthless killer. And I'm pretty sure everyone was thinking, how could such a monster be related to Goku? The shock factor in these 4 episodes was a huge thing for the Japanese audience, but for our Western audience, it just left us confused. But I think what made us love Dragon Ball Z in the beginning was the flying, the fights, the beam struggles, and the Saiyans coming to Earth for the Dragon Balls. There was suspense. There were these aliens coming to Earth to destroy it. So even though we was left confused in the beginning, we had a lot of things going for us in future episodes. Like, oh, the Saiyans come to Earth, or other characters are dying, and Gohan, Krillin, and Yajirobe and Goku are facing off against Vegeta, and they have to go to Namek to wish their friends back. And another character, Frieza, is also looking for the Dragon Balls. So it was one thing after another. It was all these action-packed fights and beam struggles and all these flashing lights and cool things that was happening in the series that made us love the series, and how Goku would beat all the odds. I mean, yeah, technically he lost against Vegeta, but hey, this was a team effort. And after that, you wanted to know what was going to happen next. I think Goku's past was an afterthought in some people's minds in the West, and we loved seeing all these cool things that was happening in the series. And again, we was given a few hints there and there about Goku's past, which was fine. But you know what? I really truly wish that we had the knowledge of what happened in the OG series first, and then we watched Z, just so we can have that surprise factor, like what the Japanese had. Anyways, I think maybe Radditz saying Goku was his brother was a little bit cheap, just for some more surprise factors and drama. Again, if this was just some random Saiyan and he wasn't Goku's brother, it would be a little less impactful. But saying that he is his brother was more of a shock. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe Akira Toriyama making Goku Radditz's brother was just to add more shock to what Radditz was saying. Again, why say that if he's going to be in this series just for 4 episodes? Again, nobody would have cared if he wasn't Goku's brother and he died at the hands of Piccolo. But hey, if you guys disagree with me, then please let me know in the comments below. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about this. So what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you think having Radditz as Goku's brother was just for cheap shocks? And listen, I promise you guys, I'm not disrespecting Radditz, I promise. I love Radditz. Please let me know in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribe Star. It's like Patreon but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.